I am a July 4th baby and always loved fireworks. An unexpected conversation changed my perspective. This is the headline of a CNN essay by Catherine Skoichet. I hope I pronounced it well. My name is Ngo, and today, 31st, I am sharing a story concerning July 4th, America's Independence Day celebrations, as told by Catherine of CNN. Catherine's pregnant mom was certain she knew how things would go that night. Like most of us, of course. It was late afternoon, but she already had movie tickets in her pocket. Her baby wasn't due for another month, she thought. Her mom's water broke while she was washing dishes that day. And Catherine, like a princess, made her entrance on July 4th. And for decades, the beauty and fun of fireworks were deeply intertwined with the way Catherine saw her country and, of course, herself. But she sees things differently now. And that's something she never expected. That is what this story is all about. Fireworks were a huge part of Catherine's 4th of July baby identity. Gifts, from earrings to t-shirts to teddy bears, everything had the American flag on them. As a toddler, she learned to scream, "God bless America!" As Catherine grew older and life got busier, no matter what, she would have one requirement. All I want is to see at least one firework in the sky. And her boyfriend granted that wish, taking her to see a lovely firework display in a town square outside Atlanta. It was an idyllic American night as anyone could have imagined. But the next day, she learned that a family she knew had a very different experience that night. For that family, it was their first July 4th in America. She visited Abdullah and his family the day after her birthday on July 5th and still remembers how struck she was by what he said. She had expected him to tell her his family had spent their first Independence Day in America having a cookout, or maybe watching a parade, or gazing in wonder as beautiful fireworks illuminated the sky, or even hanging out with friends. But when asked how their July 4th had been, Abdullah said they had spent the night hiding in the dark in their apartment, afraid to go outside. What happened? Catherine asked him. Abdullah told her the sounds they had heard outside made them think of the night when their oldest daughter had been raped and murdered in Somalia. Memories of war and bloodshed and tragedy raced through his mind and the minds of his family members. He had been taught in his refugee orientation that July 4th was a time for celebration in the United States. But he couldn't believe that's what was happening and unfolding around them that night. For Abdullah, there was only one possibility. The dangers they had fled had found them here as well. He said it sounded like Somalia. The idea that fireworks had inspired this exchange was a sobering reminder that has stuck with Catherine ever since that visit. The way she celebrates July 4th has completely changed. The visual beauty of fireworks still amazes her, but every July 4th, she now finds herself closing her eyes for a moment and hearing how those same sounds could so easily be a very different kind of explosion to someone else. She now considers how lucky she is to live her whole life without a shred of doubt that the boom of a firework was a sound of celebration. And it makes her think about how so many others have stories like Abdullah's. For example, the United Nations Refugee Agency estimates that there are now more than 117 million forcibly displaced people in the world. She thinks back on her own mom, washing dishes 42 years ago, with movie tickets in her pocket, and no doubt in her mind about what that July 4th had in store, until everything changed in an instant and the baby started coming. So many times, we are so certain about our futures, only to find out something unexpected awaits us. That's the beauty and the terror of living. Abdullah never expected people in his own family to be killed as armed groups ravaged the Somali countryside. He never expected to be forced by war to flee his hometown or his country. He never expected to end up on the other side of the world, hiding in his apartment with the lights off in the place where he thought he would be safe. These days, Abdullah says his family is more prepared for July 4th. We are used to it, he says. In America, we see people celebrating it, and we also changed. That is how we celebrate with them, he says. But still, his family stays inside just to be safe, watching from behind the windows of their home. When you wrote this article, Catherine, you hadn't had a chance to make plans for your birthday, but I am hoping you saw at least one firework in the sky on July 4th. Happy birthday, dear Catherine. Thank you for sharing this lovely story with the world, with us, and allowing me retell the story. Happy Independence Day, America. How often do we take for granted as human beings certain things in our lives, certain people in our space? Let me know in the comments what you think about the injustice that leads people to being misplaced from their home and their loved ones due to circumstances beyond their control. Let me know in the comments the things you will no longer take for granted. And until the next video, remain blessed. All the best. My name is Ngozi Chijioke Kagena.